All right, you should be done with the quiz. This is part two of our lesson today. And we're going to be getting into proportions. So let me get my ugly mug. Bye, ugly mug. Get him out of here again. And we will just start with the lesson. So we're going to start off with problems that are like this. There's a rule that we have, and these are called proportions. So proportion is when you have two fractions set equal to each other, okay? And there's some different ways to do these, but there's a quick rule that we can use whenever we're solving a proportion. And when we're solving a proportion, we have fraction equals a fraction, okay? Our rule is we are allowed to cross multiply. Okay, so when I do that, I have 8 times n. Well, 8 times n is 8n. And then I have 12 times 3. And 12 times 3 is 36. That'll give me the equation that I need to solve. From here, whatever the equation presents, I need to do. This one's, everything's already on opposite sides. I must finish him. Divide both sides by 8. And n is 4.5. Okay. Now, that's just a basic proportion when it's like that. What we're going to see also are some multi-step proportions. Okay, and the steps are the same, but there's a little bit more work that goes into these. Okay, so what we should see again, we have a fraction. We have a big fraction here, but we have a fraction equal to a fraction. Okay, so we still have the same deal. We are allowed to cross multiply. Here's the deal though. When I cross multiply with this part, that whole thing needs to be in parentheses. So I have 4 multiplied to that whole thing. So 4 multiplied to x plus 4. Basically the distributive property. And then I have 12 times 3, and that is 36. And now I need to solve my problem. Distribute first, so I take care of my distribute. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 4 is 16. Look for my variables. My variables are on the left-hand side here. So since my variable's already on the left, I need to move the 16. It's positive 16. So we're going to minus 16. That is 0. We will add those up in a second. So drop it like it's hot. 36 plus negative 16 is 20. They're on opposite sides, so I must finish him. Divide both sides by 4, and x equals 5. Okay, I'm going to give you the chance here to try a couple, and then I will go over them. So let's go ahead, and I want you to go ahead and give this one a try. It's just like our first example. Pause the video and try this problem. All right, let's take a look. Fraction equals fraction. So let's cross multiply. 10 times r is 10r. 9 times 7 is 63. Already on opposite sides, finish him. Divide both sides by 10, and r equals 6.3. Boom. Let's go ahead and give this one a try. Go ahead and pause the video, and I want you to try this particular problem. Now this particular one, again, is a multi-step one, but it is the same. Fraction equals a fraction. I need to cross multiply. So the 8 is getting multiplied to the x minus 6. So 8 times x minus 6. The 16 is getting multiplied to the 5. Well, 16 times 5 is 80. And I need to solve. Distribute. 8 times x is 8x. 8 times negative 6 is negative 48. X's are already on the left side. It's the only spot they are, so I need to move the negative 48. So I'm going to add 48 to both sides. It's going to give me 8x equals 128. Finish him. I'm going to divide both sides by 8, and 128 divided by 8 is 16. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so we are going to see some of those. Okay, just algebraic proportions set up, working on a rule, cross multiply and solve. Okay, we also have our wonderful, wonderful word problems. Okay, now at the end of the day, the majority of these word problems are going to end up very similar to this problem right here. Okay, in some way, shape, or form. Okay, but we have to learn how to actually put it together correctly. So for this one, it says the ratio of a gear on a bicycle is 8:5. This means that for every 8 turns of the pedals, the wheel turns 5 times. Suppose the bicycle wheel turns 2,435 times during the trip. How many times would you have to crank the pedals during the trip? So here's my initial ratio. It is 8:5. And that is going to be a fraction. 8/5. The thing is, I need to know what the 8 really means, and I need to know what the 5 really means. And if we look here, it says 8 turns of the pedal. So that deals with the pedal. And the 5, the wheel turns 5 times. So that is for the wheel. Now, for our second part, we need to figure out where the 2,435 goes. Okay, so I'm going to have another fraction here. And the one thing I know is whatever information is dealing with the pedal, that's going to go on top. Whatever information is dealing with the turns of the wheel, that's going to go on bottom. Okay, and if I look at this, suppose the bicycle wheel turns 2,435 times. So I know that's talking about the wheel. So my 2,435 goes here, and then my X goes there. Okay, so if we looked at it like those other problems, without all these words in it, it'd be this. 8/5 equals X over 2,435. Okay, so we cross multiply and solve. 8 times 2,435 is 19,480. 5 times X is 5X. These are already on opposite sides. Divide both sides by 5, and I'm going to have my number of pedal turns. So divide by 5, and we're going to have 3,896 pedal turns. For our answer. Okay, so the big key is making sure that we set this up correctly. Okay, the way I set up the first one, I need to set up a similar way the second one, and it's gonna work out. Okay, now understand that this could have been done slightly different, but that's how we would get taken care of. All right, let's look at the next one here together. So we have Trent goes on a 30-mile bike ride every Saturday. He rides the distance in 4 hours. At this rate, how far can he ride in 6 hours? So I know he takes a 30-mile bike ride, and it takes him 4 hours. Those are things I know. Okay? So because I set it up this way, remember my mile information has to be on top, my hours information has to be on the bottom. When I look at my other number, it says 6 hours. How far can I ride in 6 hours? Well, that would need to be down here with our hours. And on the top, I would put my variable X. Cross, multiply, and solve. 4 times X is 4X. 30 times 6 is 180. Finish him. Divide both sides by 4, and 180 divided by 4 is 45. Now, 45 what? 45 miles. All right. Now, with this next one, if you feel comfortable, I want you to try to write the proportion. I am going to go over here in a second. So if you want to try to write the proportion, go ahead and pause the video. Okay, and then you can try to write the proportion. If you don't pause the video, you'll see it in a second. In a road atlas, the scale for the map of Connecticut is, and here's our first ratio, 5 inches equals 41 miles. So 5 inches equals 41 miles. That's the first ratio. Okay, so again, remember the second one needs to be set up similarly, inches in miles. Okay. What is the distance in miles represented by 2.5 inches? Oh, my little baby Miles over here yelling at us. 2.5 inches on the map. I think he heard me say the word miles and thought I was talking to him. Yep. All right, so here we go. Now, the one thing I would do for 2.5 is I would turn that into a decimal. It is inches, so it's going to go on top, but I would turn that into a decimal. 2.5 is 2.5. Okay, and then I would have my x here. So cross multiply and solve. 5 times x is 5x. 41 times 2.5 is 102.5. Divide both sides by 5 because they're already on opposite sides. And 102.5 divided by 5 is 20.5, and that would be miles. Okay. Let's go ahead and try this one. It says the scale on a map of the United States is 1 3/8 inches equals 750 miles. The distance on the map is 3 7. Or distance on the map between Los Angeles and Washington D.C. is 3 7/8 inches. What is the distance in miles between the locations? So again, I would turn these into decimals. So 3 divided by 8 is 0.375. So this would be 1.375 inches over 750 miles. So because I set it up that way, do the same on the second one. Inches here, miles here. And this is my other one. It's 3 7/8 inches. Okay. And since it's inches, that goes on top. 7 divided by 8 is 0.875. So this would be 3.875 inches. And it'd be x miles. So let's cross multiply and solve. 1.375 multiplied to x is 1.375x. What Miles just said was 750 times 3.875. That is going to be 2,906.25. Divide both sides by 1.375. And x equals, see, divide by 1.375. Ooh, it's a repeating decimal here. And I'm getting 2,113.63 repeating. And that would be miles. All right. You are going to have some homework here. I'll double check this math here. Just give me 1 second. Make sure I typed in these numbers right. Yes, I did. Okay. Now, your homework is in your book. Let's not forget that you can find, if we're not in the classroom, you can find your online textbook. Okay. Make sure you click on the resources tab. Okay. The resources tab. And then you'll see on one of the sides, it talks about the textbook website and the textbook usernames and passwords. You want to be using that side of it. Okay. Obviously, click on the usernames and passwords. You can see how to log in. you'll be able to click on the textbook and find this page. Page 115 is where it starts, and then it's 15 to 30. You're only doing the multiples of 3 that are within that. So like you're 15, then skip to 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. You're not doing all those problems, just as multiples of 3. And then you have this set of 5 problems to finish it off that has some word problems and a few more solving problems. Okay, that's our homework that we'll have. Obviously, we're going to be going over this when we're back in class again the next time. Okay, but y'all have a wonderful day. Let me grab Miles here and let him say hello. So give me 1 second here. Come here, buddy boy. Come here. Come here, buddy boy. Say hi. Look, is he? Oh, he wants to type. Say hi. Hi. All right, Miles and I are gonna be heading to bed. Hopefully, he starts feeling a little better. He's been acting really, really bad recently. So, y'all have a good day. We'll see you later. Bye. What was that? Hold on.